In this episode of the 80's Glam Metalcast, we talk to TNT legend Ronni Le Tekro. We talk what's going on with TNT into 2020, former singer Tony Harnell, and about Ronnie's unique guitar playing style. Ronni is so cool, he's a funny guy, and he's a hard rock soldier. Check it out. Okay, Ronni, welcome to the 80's Glam Metalcast. It's an honor to talk with you, sir.
Thank you for inviting me. It's an honor.
Well, I've been a big fan for a very long time, so I know this is going to be great.
Thank you.
So last year, you guys put out a great new album on Frontiers called 13. What would you like to tell the listeners about that album?
What should I say? It was a hard birth, because, initially we started making the album with Tony Harnell. And, I kind of felt we went into different directions. So something happened, and here we are with a new singer, right? At the time, we went into the studio and tried to find a replacement for Tony, which was obviously not easy. But after 35 demos from all over the world, North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Russia even, we found this Spanish singer that we thought was able to sing the old classic as well as, give some energy into the new material that was TNT 13.
Yeah, I mean, his voice fits perfectly with TNT for sure.
I think so. And it's, he's got a high-pitched voice. He's got the kind of tonality of Tony Harnell, I think. As well as being a very technically good singer. So anyway, we went into making these weird songs, that made, TNT 13. And what should I say? TNT is a band that always wants to experiment and do a new color on each album. We don't want to be stuck in one one sound or one format. And then again, of course, we get criticism from some hardcore fans that are very conservative, of course. But what should I say? I just want TNT to stay alive. So TNT 13 is a proof of that.
Yeah, I think everybody, if they haven't, they really should check it out. A couple of my favorites would be Tears in My Eyes and We're Gonna Make It. We're Gonna Make It. That just gets stuck in my head every time I listen to it.
Oh, that is, thank you for the kind words. It's something weird and beautiful about that song, because it was recorded with harpsichords, they're called cedars from early 1900s. So the intro is just ancient instruments and basically guitar synthesizer. And the whole song just developed into, I don't know, something I'm really happy about. And also the message is something we need today in this, these dark ages.
For sure. So I know things didn't work out with Tony, but how's the relationship now? Are you guys on good terms?
Definitely. We talk regularly, and we're even discussing making a kind of Page Plant album, Harnell Le Tekro album, which could maybe lead into something in the future. But I think me and Tony Harnell, I'm speaking, not on behalf of him, but on behalf of myself. We need a different playground to do more extensive hard rock with other ideas, whereas TNT is more limited to a sound. You see what I mean?
Yes.
So we're definitely buddies, and that will last forever. We don't hate each other, and and we never did. That was never the topic. Even the thing here is that ultimately, the whole world, of course, wanted the original TNT lineup to be in place with all the 4 original members. And what I see now is maybe we're the old guys now. We're the new Sabbath and Judas Priest and that stuff. So we're going to be the next classics, right?
That's right. So kind of go through the process, if you would, when you did all your classic albums back in the day, or even now when you write with Tony. What's the process? Do you come in with a finished music and he writes the lyrics? What's the process for when you guys write?
When I write with Tony, I would say it happens at the same time. When we do that, and when we got to focus, so I hope we get that back. But when we write, it's like a magic third partner in the room, like a third entity, and that entity is kind of just guiding us into some lyrical weird ideas. We work with words. Maybe Tony would fuck around with words, or even baul, or Spanish, contemporary singer. We fuck around with phonetics or an actual lyrical idea. I would say 99% of the songs are based around the title. Then there's a riff coming in, a tempo and a key. And the melodies, and there's no actual solution to how to write a song. It's just different each time. But I would say a song based on a lyrical idea is the best way to work.
Sure. Are you a lyric writer, Ronnie?
I've added a lot of ideas to Tony, and of course the songs, that are credited me and him. We worked back and forth. With Tony Harnell, it was always, of course, him being an American, developing, the actual content further and stuff. But sometimes I would come up with, just a phrase. In the year of the month of Sundays, it takes a European to figure, to create that.
Of course. Now, if you go back through your...
So in other words, foreigners, we toss the words around more. The English American language, we fuck with it more. And sometimes we find some cool things. I would say one good example, the best example, is one of the world's biggest hits, a Norwegian band called a-ha, with the song "Take on Me," right?
Yeah.
And you would say "Take me on," right? But "Take on Me," right? That became a big international with, just tossing the English language around.
For sure. If you go back at your old or your full catalog, do you have a favorite album, or do you kind of just like them all differently, like they're your children?
To be honest, I don't think I ever made a fantastic full 100% album that I participated on. But the Beatles didn't either, because if you listen to Abbey Road, you got to skip a couple of tracks, or if you listen to any of the Beatles album, there's one or two tracks you skip. But I would say for me it was maybe My Religion.
Yeah.
I think it was Tell No Tales, My Religion.
Yeah.
Some parts of Transistor, and the last album with Tony Mills. A farewell to arms. I think that's pretty goddamn brilliant.
Yeah, it's funny because there's two that I always gravitate toward to, and I feel like they're brother and sister albums: Tell No Tales and then Intuition. And it always used to be when I was younger, I always liked Intuition a little bit better. I just felt like it had a magical vibe to it, something I just couldn't explain. An interesting sound. But as the years have gone by, I'm really starting to like Tell No Tales, probably as my favorite. I really like all those interesting little instrumentals that you put in there. It's just a great album.
Thank you. And who knows what the future will bring. I think we did our fair share to, our contribution to hard rock.
For sure.
So we're just waiting, for the market to give us space, because we're for some reasons we're always been the youngest generation in hard rock, because we're always been waiting for the old bands to vanish, like the Deep Purples, the Black Sabbaths, and I want them to play forever. I'm not saying anything wrong here, right? But I'm saying just we're getting old here now, and some fucking day bands like Pretty Maids from Europe, the band Europe, and TNT, and a few other European bands, we will have a revenge.
So why do you think? So you definitely had success in the USA, but why do you think you never got to like Motley Crue, Bon Jovi level of success? What do you think held you back?
I don't know. I think we made maybe too advanced music, and at the time the labels told us, guys, you don't have to do all that Queen influenced advanced stuff, be more straight ahead, be more fucking commercial, but we never fucking did that. We just followed our heart, especially on Intuition, which is all about following the heart.
Yeah.
And so we never sold out, and I would say the present TNT, we don't sell out. Tony Harnell never fucking sold out. He's a soldier, right?
Yep.
And we've been losing members. Tony Mills, he died recently.
Yes.
Our keyboard player, life is a vulnerable thing.
Yeah, I was sorry to hear that. That had to be a tough blow for the band.
Definitely. So, but we're pumping on, or fucking Euro hard rock. Simple as that. And hard rock and heavy metal in Europe is big. It never died.
Yeah, you hit it on the head, and I agree with you. I think you guys were a little bit too complicated at times, but in a good way. But you were a little bit more intricate than some of the big bands in America, for sure.
Yeah, so it's more intricate. Not saying that, but they could maybe write more commercial songs, and being. I like to compare TNT with Foreigner, 3 Europeans and an American singer.
Yeah.
Same thing with TNT.
That's great. I never thought about it that way. So I've been doing some research and listening to some interviews with you. You're a big Queen fan, aren't you?
I'm a big Queen fan. I'm a bigger fan of a British band called City Boy. City Boy, once you're done with Queen, you move up to the next level, then you go to City Boy. And the album, The Day the Earth Caught Fire, which is kind of where we're at now, isn't it?
Yeah.
So anyway, in Europe, hard rock is also taking a political shape. I can see that in America too, and I love that. So my hope is that hard rock can work for positive energy the next 20 years instead of destructive energies and stupid lyrics, right?
Yeah, you know what? You guys, and maybe that was another problem in the U.S. in the 80s. Your music was all very positive. I didn't ever hear anything very, negative in your lyrics. It was all, very positive, uplifting stuff.
That was Tony Harnell's, but also generally the feeling in the band that let's portray a positive message. Everyone's a star. Listen to your heart, intuition. 10,000 lovers in one. We are the rulers of the ocean, kings of the seven seas.
So, real quick on the Queen, there's one song that really reminds me of Queen, and it's probably one of my favorite TNT songs, Easy Street.
Easy Street is definitely inspired by both the Beatles and Queen, and I have to agree with you. It's absolutely one of my favorite songs.
Oh, that's awesome that we both have one of the same favorite songs of TNT. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's. I'm gonna play it by the campfire when you come over to Norway to interview me.
Oh, I hope that comes true, Ronnie. So let's talk about your guitar playing and your solos. And there's one, you do this on a lot of different songs, but this is one of the songs where it stands out to me. When I think of Listen to Your Heart, you have a lot of rhythm and time changes that happen underneath the solo. So the solo is very melodic, but it's almost like the song changes for a moment and then we'll go back. Where do you get that kind of idea from?
Oh, it's strange that you asked me today, because I was thinking this morning when I woke up that, this is something I'm going to go back to, into doing. Make each solo section a complete different composition. So if you listen to a lot of, like Queen, and like other bands like Bebop Deluxe, City Boy, bands I'm influenced by, also a British band called Pilot. But the thing where the solo section actually goes into a completely new world, and it doesn't have to be part of the composition at all. It just got to land back into the composition. So if you listen to a lot of the old classic TNT material, that's what happens. When the solo comes, the guitar just runs away for a quick little trip into the forest, and then it comes back into the big picture.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I'm not even like a guitar guy. I play a little bit of bass and a little bit of rhythm, but I'm not a lead player. But your kind of leads, that's what I like to listen to. I like something that's melodic, something that I'm going to remember. So what you did on that and many other songs stands out to me.
Thank you, sir.
How about when it comes to riffs? I want to say probably around Intuition is one of the first times that I noticed these choppy riffs that you started to do. I want to say it's in Caught Between the Tigers, right? Where did you get that idea from?
American music. Glenn Miller. You know that song?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So it's just kind of that riff backwards.
Yeah, for sure. I never thought about that, but yeah, that's for sure.
So I was inspired by American big band music since I don't know, since I was born almost. With my father play that music for me, and also the British band Sweet, which put a lot of big band elements into their arrangements. So I put a lot of that into TNT, and I have ever since. So when you listen to a lot of my riffs, it's actually big band. If you listen to Shine On, you know?
Yeah.
It's big band music, right?
Wow.
Transferred into guitar riffs.
Now, did you happen to notice after you did that on Intuition, I noticed a lot of American bands started to do it as well, and I had never heard it before you, but I know it. There's a Hurricane album where I hear that riff, and I think there's Striper, Against the Law. It's that same kind of style, and you were the first one that I ever heard do it.
Yeah, I mean, am I an original or am I not? I don't think I have to justify that. So I did my inventions, and I did it prior to all of those guys. Simple as that.
Sure, I agree. If you could go back and you could pick a dream team band, you plus 3 other guys, and they can't be from any lineup of TNT, who would you want to play with or do a song with?
Oh, that's very simple. I would say Zach Wild, and me on guitar.
Whoa.
I would say Zach Starr, Ringo Starr's son, on drums.
Okay.
I would say on bass, I would love Paul McCartney on bass.
That sounds good.
Yeah, Paul McCartney on bass, Beth Hart on vocals.
Okay. What is she from?
Beth Hart. Have you heard her singing Zeppelin? Beth Hart.
No, I've never heard of her. I'll have to check it out.
No. Oh. I think you should, after we hang up, I think you should check out what's happening in Europe. This is a woman that's 10 times more raw than Janis Joplin. She's like fucking gonna kick the entire planet. Beth Hart, check her out. I think she's American, isn't she? Yeah.
Oh, I'll have to check it out. That sounds like a pretty crazy lineup. I bet you guys could do some pretty kick-ass rock and roll.
Well, if there are any booking agents listening to this, I think they should maybe contact any of us, But I have such a deep respect for Zach, and I think and I met him a few times. Such a sweetheart guy, and I just want to work with people with soul and affection.
Yeah. Now, you mentioned some Ozzy players. Were you big into Ozzy? Do you like Ozzy?
I like Ozzy. They came from England, so we heard those guys before you guys.
Sure.
But that whole British hard rock movement with Zeppelin, Deep Purple, and I would say now, as of 2019, almost 2020, Deep Purple is the most vital band any of those old school bands.
Yeah.
And they are fantastic these days.
In 2020, you're going to be doing some festival gigs, correct?
We'll be doing some festival gigs, and aren't you going to come over and visit me? I just checked the internet. Ticket to Norway now for only $125. But we're doing some festivals this summer, and we're doing some Norwegian festivals, and we're taking it easy. I'm just trying to create new material now, so I'm not worried about touring or anything. And I'm doing my solo stuff, touring with different projects all over Europe, pretty much. So TNT is, semi on hold, but we do some gigs from starting in March. We do 2 gigs with, it's actually a fantastic happening because we do it with TNT Mark 1 with the original lineup before Tony Harnell. We do 4 songs, and that's the support act. Then we play with TNT, the full show after that.
Oh, that's awesome. It's got to be tough to put together a set list with all the songs that you guys have, isn't it?
Well, I participated on writing a lot of the songs, so I'm not stressed because they're in my heart. So, and I don't know songs by many other musicians. I just I got to keep track of my own compositions.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say I think everybody wants to just hear the TNT from you for sure.
Sure, but I'm looking forward to come back into America. Finally, I got my visa, American visa, in shape for the next 5 years. Because I'm a rock and roll guy, so sometimes you got to work with the new authorities of America. So I'm hoping actually to come back. Not in 220, but in 221. Just to show honor, I'm seriously going to try to come back to the Monsters of Rock cruise at least, and play in the Caribbean.
That would be great.
So I hope people in America that the rock and roll thing is waking up, because from a distance it doesn't seem like rock is big in the United States, and I guess that's why I haven't been touring there for fucking 100 years.
Yeah, it's definitely not in the mainstream anymore.
Exactly, and rock. Do you know what the rock is? Rock is the heart of America from the first artists. It portrays American daily life. It's the groove and all those fantastic classic American bands, right?
Right.
What happened? Well, the same fucking thing happened to England, where they just listened to fucking EDM and fucking disco music and techno shit, right?
Right.
Why? Well, so we're and that's why you're doing your podcast, isn't it?
Yes.
To tell these people that rock and roll music is the best music. The other music, popular music, is they're just copies of the energy of rock and roll. And they don't get up to the ankles even with energy, right?
Yeah, exactly. You're right. That's why I do my Twitter page, and that's why I do my podcast. I try to keep rock and roll and heavy metal top of mind for everybody out there. And there's a lot of people that want to hear it, so that's why I do it.
And let me tell you one thing, brother. When you do this, like Manowar said, American band Manowar, we fucking do this for rock, and you're a rock soldier. When you keep this fucking thing up, let me tell you, in 5 years, and you saw on the SoundCloud, you're familiar with SoundCloud?
Yes.
Yeah, right. They 2 months ago they said hard rock and heavy metal is the fastest growing streaming music on the internet.
That's great to hear.
Check that out. You can check that out yourself. 3 years in a row, meaning that your podcast, if you get interesting fucking people to talk about music, you will have a life. Because hard rock, the beast is coming back, right? In a new shape, a new form, and that's not fucking Iron Maiden or Rammstein, do you know? It's a different shape. Hard rock and heavy metal is the only solution for world peace, because music is the instrument for world harmony. Right?
Right.
That was a good... How did you hear that quote?
Yeah, it was good.
Music is the instrument for world harmony. I just made that up as we spoke. I thought that was brilliant, wasn't it?
I think so too, Ronnie. I think you write a book.
Yeah, I don't do that, but you know. So when you hear that song title, you know it came from this interview.
That's right. Just don't forget about me. Don't forget about me when you write the song.
I think that's fucking brilliant, man.
You can thank me in the liner notes, Ronnie.
All love to America, my American fans. I love them. They know who they are. They are by the hundreds of thousands. I love them. Okay, brother?
All right, brother. Have a good night.
Have a good night. You too.
Take care. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. I learned a lot of things about TNT that I never knew. I hope you enjoyed it. Rock on!